That song we've just heard reminds us that God gives us every breath we take. Do we really have to think about breathing? No, we don't. We breathe in, we breathe out, and it's just normal. And it's just what we do. And yet during the pandemic, we know that many people have suffered by not being able to breathe, and then it causes a problem. When a baby's born, the first thing we wait for is that first breath. And isn't it a miracle that all of a sudden the lungs fill with air and the baby cries as the lungs open up and lets it breathe? It's wonderful, isn't it? And then you've got the atmosphere around us, made up mainly of oxygen and nitrogen. It's just right for us to breathe. It's just right. Who made it all? God gives us the breath we breathe. And we take it all so much for granted. It's just normal to breathe. It's just normal to do things. And yet we've learned in this pandemic that life isn't normal. Things happen very suddenly that changes our normal life. And the normality of life is change. People keep saying now, can't we get back to normal? What is normal? Normal is different for everyone. Our normal lives are not the same as somebody else's. And the normality of life and trying to get back to normal will actually not happen because our lives have changed. Things have happened that have changed our everyday routines and the things that we do. So many people are working from home now. They would never have even thought of that before. They would go to the office every day, 9 to 5 stint, travel, whatever. But now things have changed and the normal is different. And I think, we sometimes need to grasp onto the fact that what we think is normal, maybe not what other people think is normal. I remember a minister in a meeting once praying for normal people to attend his church. I wonder. But what it was that he didn't want people to come with problems. He didn't want them to come with gripes and complaints and everything else and go to him for all the answers. That's what it was about, really. But there are no normal people. There are no normal things in this world. And we take things for granted. We take our breathing for granted. And in fact, it's God who gives us our breath. And every day we should be thankful to him for every breath that we take, because it's him who gives us breath. In Isaiah, it reads, God the Lord created the heavens and stretched them out. He created the earth and everything in it. He gives breath to everyone, life to everyone who walks the earth. He gives us life. But what sort of life are we looking for? Let's read from Acts chapter 17, from verse 22. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. So Paul, that's the Apostle Paul, standing before the council, addressed them as follows. Men of Athens, I noticed that you are very religious in every way. For as I was walking along, I saw your many shrines, and one of your altars had this inscription on it, to an unknown God. This God whom you worship without knowing is the one I'm telling you about. He is the God who made the world and everything in it. Since he is Lord of heaven and earth, he doesn't live in man-made temples, and human hands can't serve his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives life and breath to everything, and he satisfies every need. From one man he created all the nations throughout the whole earth. He decided beforehand when they should rise and fall, and he determined their boundaries. His purpose was for the nations to seek after God, and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him, though he is not far from any of us. For in him we live and move and exist. Let me read that last 2 verses again. His purpose, God's purpose for you and me, was for the nations to seek after God and perhaps feel their way towards him and find him, though he is not far from any of us. For in him we live and move and we exist. So if God has given us our existence and our life, then why does our life seem so complicated sometimes and so problematic? With things occurring that we don't expect and worrying about things. In fact, Jesus says at one point in the Bible, can worrying add any day to your life? And of course, the answer to that is no. In fact, it probably does the opposite. But we do worry about things, and we do worry about the future. Did anybody expect the COVID-19? No. They thought something might happen one day, but didn't know the details. And things happen in our lives, and we can worry about the future, but actually worrying doesn't help, does it? There was a lady who worried about being burgled, and she couldn't sleep at night because she was worrying so much, and her poor husband would have to lay awake. So, go to sleep, stop worrying. There's no burglar coming into our house. But one night, he heard a noise downstairs. So he went downstairs, and wow, there was a burglar who'd broken into their house. But instead of shooing him away, he just said, "Oh, good evening. I'm really pleased to see you. Would you like to come upstairs and meet my wife? She's been wanting to meet you for years. She's been worrying about you." Crazy, isn't it? But it's true. Our worrying can not add hours or minutes to our life, and it can affect other people. And just like breathing in and out, I think I have learned to trust God more. If He made me, He knows what I'm going through in life. He knows everything I think, everything I say, everything I do, because I exist because of Him. So therefore, who should I go to when I have problems? I go to God, my Creator, my friend, my Lord, my Saviour. He's the one who's got the answer. It might not be immediate. It might be something that I'm not expecting. But He knows me through and through. He knows me better than I know myself. Better than my husband knows me, that's for sure. And so therefore, I need to go to Him more. I need to talk to Him. And I think I've learnt that in the last 18 months that I can talk to God wherever. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be kneeling. You don't have to be in a special place or anything like that. God is there for us all the time. And we can just talk as if He's in the room with us. I think it's strange nowadays. You know, it wasn't so long ago. If you saw somebody walking along the street seemingly to talk to themselves, you'd think, uh-oh, what's the matter with them? But now we know, because of all the, I don't know what you call them, the ear things, and the things listening to, and people talking into their phones, people talking to themselves and even singing along. It's not different anymore, is it? So what's to stop us talking to God as we're walking along? Will anybody think we're strange? No, they won't. They won't. Not at all. And so God has given us breath. God has given us life. And He needs to be the normal in our life. Trusting Him should be the same as breathing in and out. Trusting Him should be our life. We exist because of Him, because of His love for us. And the Bible tells us He gives us His love and His grace and His mercy, which are new every day. So let's trust Him. He knows what's best for us. God bless you.